Hello builders, and welcome back to the World Zoo Project, a giant zoo where I am building a habitat for every animal in the game. Although in today's video we don't have any animal, we have perhaps the most dangerous animal of all. It's man. That's right. Alright, okay, that's an old joke, but I'm leaving it in, we're keeping it. Yes, we are building a big old food court for people to eat at inside our Asian section of the zoo. It is quite expensive and it took me many days to complete, but luckily for you I have condensed it down into a short little video. So, without further ado, let's get on to the building now, shall we? We start off the build by building a shell template that we will be copying and pasting to all the little shops. We keep all the shops in one big group at the start, that way it is easy to copy and paste our look between them. As for look, of course, we are going for a more of an Asian theme, more of a generic I suppose. It is a little bit of different Asian elements. We are limited by what the game gives us after all, though that doesn't stop me from being creative with what I got given. Now you'll notice here as I am building, everything is of course on a square grid, but it will not stay that way. As I said before, we're building it on the grid just to make it easy to start. Once I am happy, I will then separate each building into its own group, and then from there we can rotate them freely and make it look a little bit more organic and less, well, square and boring. While doing my food courts, I always like to group my shops into some sort of order. In this case, we're putting coffee with some baked goods and donuts, as that just seemed like the perfect combination. After all, I am Canadian, and what's more Canadian than Tim Hortons donuts with coffee? Of course, Tim Hortons isn't in this, but we got the next best thing, Street Fox Coffee. I think that was an unintentional advertisement for Tim Hortons. Well, I'll give them the freebie this time. But rest assured, they are not giving me any advertisement dollars, so I have not sold out yet. Although, if you know some Tim Hortons hears this and they perhaps want to give me some advertising dollars, I'll sell out. I'll sell out hard. I'm not proud. Oh yeah, I should probably talk more about the build now, shouldn't I? This, of course, is a continuation of what we had done in the previous video with the otters, those cute little babies. I had intentionally left this side of this building open because I knew I wanted to put some form of food in there, and of course we ended up on the Mexican and the fries to go in there. Why? Just because they could. That way it would just complete the food court a little bit more. And now we come to doing a little bit of landscaping. You'll see a lot of that in this video, whether it be some plants or some rocks, as we try to fill up all the little gaps in here and make the whole thing look a little bit more natural. And speaking of landscaping and making things a little more natural, you'll notice a theme with many of my buildings this time around, where the back ends of them are just not even complete. I just cover them with rocks and put some plants and some moss back there and bam. Again, just trying to make everything look more like a zoo where everything should be covered in nature. Let me know what you think. Do you want your back ends to be a little bit more natural, or do you like them to be full and complete? Alright, that's so bad. Alright, we're leaving that in. We're leaving that one in. And I must apologize for the extra fast footage this time around. Like I said, this took me several days to complete, and the only way I could get the whole thing condensed is to really increase the speed that the footage was going at, just so you could see everything in, well, at least in a video under half an hour. And here is where creating everything on a grid really comes into play. This is of course the first building I built, and then I just drag in different shops into it. I changed the building up a little bit here and there, adding a different roof, just so that it's not an exact copy-paste, but the overall look will be the same, and we will then continue that for the rest of the food court. And all that's left then is to copy it into place. And as you can see, I am continuing the theme of grouping everything together, and this time it's the Pipshot water and juice and soda shops. And while I was building this live on Twitch, someone in chat suggested that we use the chance to build a big old shrine. In this case, I did it with a bell, since that piece was in the game and it gave me a chance to use it. So I used the area above the shops to, well, make a shrine. It seemed like the perfect place to put it, being that it's the first thing guests will really see when they walk into the food court. They'll just be there standing on high above everything else. Makes you wonder, like, ooh, I want to go up to see that shrine. Well, you can. Okay, the guests won't actually physically be able to get up there, but we'll build a fake staircase to make it look like they can. Although looking back at this build, that staircase is quite steep. Maybe I should have put some warning signs on there, and there would be less people falling and bonking their heads on the rock. Well, that's why I have everyone sign a waiver before they enter the zoo. That way they can't sue us. Everyone always assumes the waiver is for animal-related injuries, but in many cases, it's just because of faulty architecture. Oh wait, what am I saying? No, this is a building channel. I am really good at building, and there is nothing wrong with my builds. Lawyers, make sure you hear that, alright? And send that out to anybody who is questioning me. And with that short amount of time, that shrine is complete, and we can then go on with some more builds in the food court. Let me know what you think of that shrine. And also let me know if you like this build. I could be persuaded to upload this to the Steam Workshop if other people want it. If not, then you know what, I'll just leave it in the zoo. And one day when I finally finish this giant zoo and we upload to the workshop, you can grab it then. As a centerpiece for the food court, I decided to create a little mound right in front of the shrine. This of course will have a big old tree growing on top of it with some cherry blossoms surrounding the whole thing, making for a really beautiful centerpiece. It will also be the first thing people see when they get off the train, which of course is our giant train going around the entire zoo with multiple stops in every section. Oh, I can't wait for that train to be done. I've mentioned it before, but oh boy. It is like one of the first things I started building, and it will be one of the last things we complete in the zoo. After all, we can't complete the train until every section of the zoo is complete, and as of recording this video, we are in the middle of building Africa, but after that, we have to build the Indian section as well as a desert section. And I had to put bathrooms in somewhere, so I decided to put them right at the entrance, as well as covering the top of it with a little Zen garden. We're using the 3D printed floors because I thought it made it look like sand, and I hope you agree with me. And once we get that all built, we will put some rocks in there and some trees and other little bushes, just to create that little Zen rock garden feel. For the next build, I decided to copy the tower we had created at the Saru Springs, which is our hot spring / monkey habitat, and then bring it over here to fit in for our Cosmic Cow ice cream and milkshake bar. I just wanted to have another tall building somewhere in this section of the zoo, and this felt like a good spot as it is the top section of our food court where the shrine and that centerpiece tree is. And as for fitting the Cosmic Cow ice cream, I only had a spot for 2 shops, and these 2 seemed to fit perfectly for it. And another apology for the fast video footage. It does not work out well with my fidgeting. When I'm building, I am constantly moving the camera around, and it really shows, and it is a bit jarring when we speed up the footage. I try to edit out most of it whenever I can, but sometimes I just have to leave it in because I am just a jittery boy and I am all over the place. You'd think I'd be high on coffee all the time, but nope, I ain't drinking any coffee. I am just high on the building. Or maybe the building's just really high. Okay, I'm sorry, that's a bad joke. I'm leaving it in though because I have nothing else to say. Let's just move on and forget I ever said that. Okay, bring up the next clip. Any second now. Let's move on and forget. Ah, there we go, okay. This is going to be a little overlooking the train station. So I guess we'll be able to sit up here, maybe sit on some chairs, and just wait for some friends to arrive on the train, and then they continue on looking at the giant zoo. Man, I feel like if guests are coming in here, You got this. This zoo is so big, you are not seeing it in one day. I don't care how fast you are. You are going to have to make this into a multi-day trip. I wonder, maybe I should consider building a little hotel somewhere in the zoo, just for RP reasons. That's an idea to mark down for later. Alright, let's start on the next section of the food court. This, of course, will be our chief beef, our pizza pen, and the other one. I can't remember it right now, but you'll remember it. You know the one. I could pause the video or redo this recording and try to remember what the other one was going to be, but you know what? I'm leaving this in. I am in a weird mood tonight where I just want to get these recordings in and out, being that I have been procrastinating getting these videos out on the channel. So let's just get it on with it. Hot Dog Squad. Oh my god, it just came to me as I ended that bit of recording. Yes, Hot Dog Squad is the other one going in here. Why am I so excited about that? I don't know. Maybe I'm just excited that my brain is working sometimes. Originally, I was going to be putting some rocks on the back half of this, but I decided to add in a loony balloons just for a little extra fun for the kids walking through here. After all, who doesn't love a good little balloon at the zoo? I have to say, landscaping is probably one of my favorite parts of any build. I love, of course, the rock work and the buildings, but everything just comes alive once you start adding in all the trees, plants, and little bits of foliage all over the place. It really makes it look like a zoo at that point. And now we come to the final set of food buildings for the food court. Well, okay, they're not the food ones, these are actually the Gulpee buildings, so I should be saying they're the drinks, but you know what I mean. And after this, we will then work on the train station. Might as well include that one in this video as well, because this video isn't long enough already. But hopefully at this point you realize why I built everything on a grid in the first place, so I could copy and paste the walls in between them fairly easily. Although each building ends up looking a little bit different from each other, they still have that overall theme linking them all together. And as before, now that the buildings are roughly complete, I can then separate them into different groups and then rotate them to create a more organic looking building that isn't just all square. A very handy trick that I recommend others to use. For the Gulpee buildings, I decided to give the buildings a little bit more personality and color by changing the shop fronts to match the Gulpee logos. Gotta get that corporate branding in, right? Again, if any corporations want to sponsor me, I will gladly sell out. And it wouldn't be a zoo food court without a few statues of some animals roaming around to bring a little bit of joy to people. And as always, we cover off the back half of the Gulpees with some rocks. Underneath this mountain we're building is actually some keeper and staff facilities. We'll be using that facility later to feed the animals in some different habitats like the pandas and the pangolins, which their videos will be coming out later on the channel. And now we come to working on the final building for the food court. It is of course our train station. It will be sitting over top of a river that is flowing from our otter habitat, which will then move on to different habitats further down. But guests will have a chance to cross it to get onto the train. And as always, we'll be building it in that Asian style and just having fun and experimenting with the build. After all, that's what I love to do in Planet Zoo, is just experimenting. When I don't know what to build, I will just randomly go through the prop section and just look at random pieces and let them talk to me. You'd be surprised how many builds I get by just random inspiration through looking at the props. I'd say about 90% of this zoo is just random inspiration on the spot. I don't go into it with much more than a vague idea of what I'm building. In this case, it was just like, I need to build a food court, let's just start building. And that's it. Just fitting things in where we can fit them and letting the whole thing grow a little bit more organically. I know I love to complain about my train every time I bring it up, but really it's more of a love-hate relationship with it. I just can't wait for the whole thing to be complete. And although I do have a lot of fun building different style train stations for every section of the zoo, whether it's Australia or Asia one like this one, or the Arctic one. They all turn out a little bit different and I love it. I get a chance to just have fun being creative in this game. And in the end, isn't that what Planet Zoo is all about? Hang on, was that the point I was trying to make? I can't remember what I was rambling on about. Something about trains? I don't know anymore. It's getting late in this recording, and I am getting so tired, I'm probably going to go to bed right after this video is done. And we're getting near the end of the video, but there's always time for a little bit more landscaping. So I'm going to come in here and just add in a bunch of rocks and trees and flowers and just make this look like a lovely little mountainside that the train pulls up on. And of course, we can't have people falling into the river and drowning. Oh no, that'd be even more of a lawsuit problem that the zoo has, and we have enough of those already. So we're going to have to add in some fencing. And I decided to make this fence look a little bit more green, like jade, because, well, why not? I like the color. And I thought it fit perfectly with what we were building for the rest of the area. Not that we use jade really anywhere else. At least it feels like it belongs there. Although admittedly there was one part that didn't make it into the recording, and that's me building the pathing from the train station to the rest of the path. There was a lot involved in that, and I unfortunately did not actually record me doing it. So it has been poof, lost to the ether. But if you look closely, you can see the pathing in the final tour at the end of the video. And speaking end of the video, we're almost there. So let's do a quick outro while we build the Blissful Blossoms sign that will go at the front of the food court. So what do YouTubers usually do at the end of these kinds of videos? Well, they ask you to like, comment, subscribe. Yep, check that off. Okay, boom. Make sure you go do that. And then follow me in other areas like Twitch. I stream this zoo live on Twitch as much as I can, as well as playing some other nice, chill, relaxing games. Normally the games I like to play are rather building oriented in some way. Maybe I'm building a little base and survival game. Maybe I'm building a little town somewhere. Who knows? Just come by and take a look. Alright, there. I think I checked all those outro boxes. Let's see. Twitch mentioned. Yep, go down below. Click that. Like, comment, subscribe. Yep, did that already. Okay. I think that is outro basically complete. So, feel free to enjoy the cinematic tour of the Blissful Blossoms Plaza. And the last checkbox I have on my list is to say goodbye and have a good day. So, have a good day. Goodbye.